let's talk about it a little bit. Already, the line opened at 3.5. It immediately got bet up to 4. I have bet the Bengals plus 4. The money is currently coming in on the Rams and the bets coming in on the Bengals. So not surprised that it moved to 4. It looks like professional money has come in on the Rams. What do we think here? When we spoke Sunday night, our first instinct was Bengals plus 4. And I can't say, let me, before you dive into the analysis, my instinct wasn't because of anything on the field. And we were very clear about this Sunday night. We did a video about it. We hadn't dug into anything. To me, it was only about two things. One, the Bengals have just proven it all season that they play close games. I said it, like 18 of 20 games have been by fewer than 3 points. B, they consistently find ways to keep the game close late. And C, these playoff games generally have just all been so close that it's hard to see that pattern changing. And so without doing any of the research, it just looked to me like playing a team that's getting more than a field goal is the right side.
Also, like my first instinct was last time I saw McVay in a Super Bowl, he coached one of the tightest games ever. Would they put up 3 points against the Patriots? Like the guy got completely outclassed and he just looked like a deer in headlights the whole time. So that's definitely been in the back of my mind. We were talking about that on Sunday night. Now that I have more time looking at it, yeah, like my gut instinct was to take the Bengals because I thought the public and professionals would come on the Bengals, but the pros have loved the Rams all season. It's interesting too, where they lost a bunch of money last week on taking the Rams. They didn't care. They fired away right away when this line opened. They just love this team. We talked all summer about it. I just did not get it. Like I had so many professionals telling me to get on this Rams train, like take them for the division, take them for the Super Bowl. And I kept saying like Matthew Stafford has never done anything. Like, and their whole argument was it's Detroit. And it's like, is it though? It's like he had weapons. He had plenty of talent around him. Apparently it was just Detroit. I hate saying it, but it's like, what the hell, man? This guy has been incredible in this playoffs. Like these clutch throws, these big moments, he keeps stepping up. Like when he was down 10, I was waiting for the pick 6. Like he was going to force it into something, do something stupid, and they were going to take it back. No, he drove the field. They got a touchdown. Then the next time they got the ball back, he did throw that dumb pick. The guy dropped it. And then Stafford from that point on was just locked in. Again, he's been incredible these playoffs. So I still don't really have a strong opinion on this one, honestly. Like I felt great about the under. It's moved a lot. I'm seeing it down to 48 a lot of books now. I still think that's a good key number with this under. Just think it's a great defensive matchup. Like both these teams, say what you want about their offenses, their defenses have really stepped up, both teams in these playoffs. And I'm looking at professional money really coming on this Rams team, which is what's giving me so much pause of this Bengals team, because it's like the pros, I feel like they should love this Bengals team. Like Chad just talked about, all their games are close. They have what we can argue about. I mean, I'm not a big kicker guy, but like this guy has been automatic. It's really hard for me to want to take the Rams. And I think that's why like I want to take more time this number, because I already bet the 3.5. I already bet the 4 with the Bengals. It touched 4.5, and my runner texted me. He's like, "You won it?" And I was just like, "Yeah, but like don't put more than $1,000,000 because it's like I still know what the hell I'm doing here." I want to be on the Bengals though. That's all. I'll say that right now. Like I do want to be on them. And my number favorites, the Bengals. I made this number 3. Obviously 4.5. That's a big number for this Bengals team. So we'll see, buddy. It's like, again, that's what's great about the Super Bowl. We have really 2 weeks to break this down. I just don't get what these pros are seeing with the Rams team. It's like they have no home field advantage. Are they really that much better than the Bengals? Why? Because everyone knows who Stafford is. Everyone knows who Aaron Donald is. McVay is the boy wonder. And another big argument is that Zach Taylor is the understudy. So it's like McVay is going to know exactly what Zach Taylor is going to do. Is he though? It's like, I don't know. I don't really have any proof of that. They haven't really played against each other before. So I don't know. All this noise, it's kind of like I need to dig more into it. But I can tell you the calls I've gotten from the different pros and guys that need runners to put bets in, they like the Rams and like the under. So they just see it as a great matchup where this Rams team is the more veteran team, the better coach in their opinion. And I can't agree with it at this point. You know how I feel about Zach Taylor. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting one where I felt really confident when we first talked about it with the Bengals. Like I felt like my numbers were going to back it up, which it did. But hearing all the pro money and all the pros that just love the Rams, They obviously know something, Chad. I mean, they were big like you were on the Bengals last week. Now worked out for them. Now they're flipping. So it's interesting that they're choosing the Rams over this Bengals team, which they've been nothing but clutch this playoffs, man. Like they really have. It's pretty incredible.
It's weird also because other than the futures, the Rams haven't been a team that would give you any reason to back them against the spread. You know, they've consistently come up short there in the highest profile moments, including this past weekend, and then including at the end of the year against the Niners. They've won the division, kind of fluky. They won the conference, could have easily lost that game. And the wise guys almost never want to back a favorite of this many points in the Super Bowl. It truly doesn't make any sense. And this year, when things have not made sense and we've gone with what we know, it's tended to pay off for us, right? Like we've gone against the grain, even going against the professional bettors. We've been right.
Yeah. I'm like, again, I'm a little wounded last week that I faded my system because it's obviously been good. Before last week, I was 9-3 against the spread. Now I'm 10-4, which is still great, but it's like it went 4-0. It literally picked both sides right and had both unders. And it's like, fuck, man. I really wish I wouldn't go against it. But we talked last week. Mahomes was good to me this playoffs. He was 4-0 against the over and against the spread. Now it's 4-2. That obviously that wounded me last week. But yeah, I'm gonna dive more into the numbers, but we talked about it a little bit Sunday night. Just the big skewer to me for a lot of these guys who are taking this Rams team is the front four. So these guys said no matter what, they were going to take the 49ers or they were going to take the Rams no matter what once they saw the Bengals won. So I just believe that they think that we saw in that game Joe Burrow escape a couple, right? He got out of a couple sacks. He is not doing that against this Rams team. Like Aaron Donald ain't going to whiff on those. Like that Kansas City, we knew their D-line wasn't that good. We knew they were going to get a little bit of pressure. They weren't good, right? Like that Joe Burrow was pretty clean in that matchup. So it's what these guys keep bringing up, and that's what I'll dive more into. But I'm going to try not to overthink it, Chad, right? Because I definitely did last week with the Chiefs. It's like you're getting a good number with a good dog. I almost always take the dog in this position. I almost always take the money line. And we talked last year, one of the big things I do is I take adjusted numbers because the spread, it only matters 1 out of every 10 Super Bowl. So that means 90% of the time the spread does not matter in the Super Bowl. And I try to make extra money that way by betting adjusted line. So instead of getting the Bengals plus 170, I can just take the Bengals minus 2.5 to win plus 250, which is a big deal when you adjust these lines. So it's definitely an interesting number. I just don't see where the Bengals get blown out. That's why I like you just said, the 4.5, that feels like a really big deal to me. And the books know that. So it's scary. It's scary as we sit here that they've moved it that number because that's really respected money coming in that they're moving that for. And we saw last week, Chad touched on it a bunch of times, especially on Convince Me, that Bengals number, when we were doing a live show, it dropped. It dropped from 7.5 to 7, despite, I think on the Action app it was saying 80% of the money and 70% of the bets were on the Chiefs. Reverse line action like that should have been a dead giveaway to me that someone knows something in this game. When they're moving a number like that against millions and millions of dollars, that's the book saying something, like someone's got to read on that. So if this game closes at +5, +5.5, Chad, I want to be a little scared because I got a bad number at +3.5, but I'm going to let it ride for right now. And we'll see. Maybe Thursday I get stucky in here. You can convince me otherwise. But it just feels like as we sit here, I just like this Bengals number. So if you want to make a bet right now, take the 4.5. I'm comfortable with it. Just understand that things can change here. Like I do need to talk to a lot of other pros and see what they're seeing because I just don't get the Rams love. And usually that means I'm missing something if I just don't understand why so many smart groups are betting this Rams team.